6 years ago, PeakDesign dropped a bombshell in the world of tripods. That was, of course, the PeakDesign Travel Tripod. Some photographers fell in love with its sleek design and premium materials, while others were left wondering if it was more style than substance. And yes, that $600 price tag, it definitely raised some eyebrows. Fast forward to today, and PeakDesign is back with not one, but 3 new tripods in their lineup. So the question is, how good are these new tripods? And in today's video, we're gonna take a look at everything you need to know before making a buying decision. For disclosure, this video is not sponsored by PeakDesign. I'm actually making a video comparing a bunch of different tripods to see if I can find the best photography tripod of 2025 later this month, and I reached out to PeakDesign to see if they'd be interested in sending over their new tripods to be included in that video, and they did, and I thought, you know what, now would be the perfect time to share my first impressions. To kick things off, let's take a look at all 3 of the new tripods, the Pro Lite, Pro, and Pro Tall. And to explain why PeakDesign released 3 new tripods, it's best explained using their chart on their Kickstarter. The idea is that along their 4 tripods, you have the most compact and portable tripods starting from the left, and with each step to the right, you're getting more stiffness and stability, but less portability. And of course, as you can see, each of these tripods get progressively taller with their max height as you go left to right. With the original travel tripod maxing out at 60 inches, the Pro Lite maxing out at 64 inches, the Pro maxing out at 66.3 inches, and the Pro Tall maxing out at a whopping 77 inches. Tall indeed. Their payload capacity also increases with each step up as well. The travel tripod is rated for up to 20 pounds, the Pro Lite tripod is rated for up to 35 pounds, the Pro is rated for up to 40 pounds, and the Pro Tall is also rated for up to 40 pounds. Here you can see what each of these tripods look like size-wise when folded up and placed side by side. And when you compare the original travel tripod to the Pro Tall, the largest one, you'll see that it's almost double the weight and significantly larger, both in height and in diameter. If you want a quick reference sheet comparing the general specs of these 4 tripods, here's a little table I made for you. Right off the bat, I have some opinions. For me, carrying a tripod for most shoots means I'm throwing it in the water bottle holder of my camera backpack and then strapping it down, which means personally, I don't like tripods that are larger than 18 inches or so, because when you get to 19 inches and taller, it gets a bit too tall and feels unwieldy, and it makes putting under a seat on an airplane kind of annoying. But I know not everyone prefers to carry their tripods like this. I know some people load their tripods into carrying bags like roller bags, and you bring them onto shoots like weddings. So for those of you that prefer to do it that way, it's totally fine. The design is still quite compact and space efficient. It's just not the same perfect balance of size and form factor that the original travel tripod had though. Outside of height, weight, and payload capacity, the design for these 3 new tripods are basically the same. So for build quality and design, let's kick things off by taking a look at the tripod legs. They're basically the same design and shape as the original travel tripod legs, with the Pro Lite being just a size up and the Pro and Pro Tall being 2 sizes up, according to PeakDesign themselves, which you can definitely tell by looking at the diameter of each of the tripods. This, along with the fact that these new tripods only use 4 leg sections, is what adds to the strength and stability of these new legs compared to the original travel tripod. For the locking mechanism, they're continuing to use their latch design for locking each leg. It's very secure, but if you want more tension on those locks, you can always tighten down each of the latches to your preference. Something you'll also notice is that the Pro tripods are all metal now, including things like the angle adjuster, which is now made of aluminum with a flush design when fully closed and offers up to 3 different angles of operation. This tripod now also has a minimum operating height of around 6 inches. To do this, you'll have to remove the counterweight hook from the bottom of the column, which will house a hex key in the production version of this tripod, but as you can see, you can also put their mobile phone mount in here as well. Then tilt the ball head to 90 degrees so you can access the screw hole. From there, you can detach the center column, letting you remount the ball head without the center column to give you those super low shots. I will say that lately I've been testing and using a lot of different tripods, and this process of removing the center column is a bit cumbersome and definitely takes a few minutes to make the modification, so it's not as casual and easy and quick if you're just out and shooting and you want to really quickly get a low shot. So next, let's take a look at the ball head. So this is updated from the original PeakDesign travel tripod, and I definitely think it comes with a ton of improvements that are welcome, but it is also very familiar. So starting off on the side, there is a knob to loosen and tighten to release the center column, and on the ball head itself, you'll see that it looks quite familiar with a collar that you can loosen to get full control of the ball head, to get 360-degree turning, as well as some limited vertical tilt. There is a notch cut out to the side, so you can get full 90 degrees for those vertical shots, but if you want to shoot vertical, there's definitely a better way if you have a tripod like this that limits your verticality, and I'll talk about that in a second. But let's move on to the tripod head itself. One of the things that that is brand new to this ball head is the fact that it now finally has proper panning. On the side, there's a knob that releases the pan head. Now it is dampened, but there is no adjustable friction control, so there is only one speed you'll be able to pan on, but that speed does offer a little bit of resistance, giving you smooth pans. Now, similar to the original PeakDesign travel tripod, there is a lever that you want to pull out of the way so that it unlocks so you can put in your tripod plate. And the cool thing is now it actually locks completely out of the way, making it super easy to pop a plate in, just like how you were used to with the original travel tripod. And as you can see on the lever itself, there's a leveling bubble so you can check to make sure your camera's level. I really like how smooth the action is for locking the mounting mechanism, and it stays open. Then once you pop something in, you're good to go. And here's a little fun thing. If you have a tripod plate in there, look at how satisfying this is. It just kind of pops right out. And what's cool is on the side, you'll see that there's even a locking lever to make sure that if you have a camera in there and you don't want it to come unlocked, that's a nice little safety switch there. So that way there's no chance you accidentally unlock the camera from the tripod while in use. All right, so I talked about vertical photography with this tripod and how it's kind of limited due to that singular spot that lets you do 90 degrees. How you can combat that is getting a camera cage for your camera so you can mount your mounting plate onto the side of your camera to natively mount that camera in a vertical orientation, or you can use a L-shaped cage that attaches to your camera's ⅛ thread, giving you an 𝗚𝗏𝗧𝗏 mounting plate on the bottom and on the side of your camera. And the nice thing about these PeakDesign tripod heads is that they're 𝗚𝗏𝗧𝗏 compatible. There's two little safety screws that you can take off with an Allen key, and now you can use any 𝗚𝗏𝗧𝗏 compatible rail and mount it directly to the tripod really quickly. So if you use that L-shaped mount, you can just plop it in horizontally, and when you need to unlock it, take it out, plop it in vertically. So it's not ideal, but it is definitely a great workaround. Now, one thing about these PeakDesign tripods is that they've always been great photography tripods. In my opinion, there's people who love this tripod. There's definitely critics of this tripod, but I always thought it was really good for a lot of the photography that I did. I even use it as a video tripod for a lot of weddings I used to shoot with. But something nice that PeakDesign thought of was this tilt mod tripod head that goes ahead and just mounts right into the 𝗚𝗏𝗧𝗏 compatible slot right there. But now you can go ahead and unscrew this telescoping arm, unscrew the pan head, unscrew the tilt head, and you have yourself a little bit of a fluid head, tripod head that's, a lot better for video where you can pan and tilt at the same time to track your subjects. And to show this new tripod head in action, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my Sony a7C Mark II with the 70-200 f2.8 G Master Mark II on here as well. Let's extend that telescoping tripod arm, unlock the tilt and the pan, and as you can see, it does a good job. I mean, it feels smooth. This is about like a medium weight setup that you would want to use for photography, that you would use for some video shooting, and it feels pretty decent. But I do have some gripes with it. I think the idea of the tilt mod head is absolutely genius. I love the idea, 10 out of 10, no notes. But I think the execution is a little bit weak. We are so used to, premium design, higher build quality from PeakDesign products, and this tilt mod head just doesn't really feel like it's up to snuff. This telescoping arm is good, but it feels kind of flimsy. Honestly, it kind of feels like a selfie stick. There is a counterbalance built into this tripod head, but as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and unlock it. It just wants to go backwards. Even if I probably balance it forward, it's still gonna just wanna go backwards. And it kind of holds a little bit when I tilt forward. Like, that looks pretty good, but the moment I get to level, it just wants to fall down, which I'm not a big fan of. I will say, after this tripod's been on the market for a little bit in everybody's hand, I think that, companies like SmallRig, 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡𝗏, 𝗚𝗏𝗟𝗏, I feel like this is perfect for them to create something that it fits this design, but just does it better. Because again, the idea is so good. I just think the execution of this specific tilt mod head that PeakDesign is gonna be selling, it's just not my favorite in terms of build quality. Overall, if you like the build quality and design of the original PeakDesign travel tripod, then this is gonna feel right at home with the same level of luxury craftsmanship that you've come to expect. Now, let's talk a little bit about stability. First off, if you live in Florida, there is no reason to buy a sauna. Just sit in your patio under the shade during a hot summer day, and yeah, it feels like a sauna out here. Anyways, I've used the original PeakDesign travel tripod, the aluminum version, for over 5 years now. And you can definitely tell because it's quite beat up. And at least with my unit, I didn't really have much issues at all when it came to stability. Personally, when I tested the Pro Series tripods in both indoor and outdoor environments, I noticed mild flexing of the legs at full extension, a small amount of wobble when the center column is fully extended, but it's nothing that's a deal breaker for me personally. Now, if you're planning on using really big and heavy lenses like a 600mm lens, or you're trying to get time lapses and long exposures in like windy environments, stability could be an issue. So definitely keep that in mind. But for everything I use these tripods for mostly stationary locked off shots because I just want a stable and sharp shot, it's usually not an issue for me. Now, what about ease of use and ergonomics? When it comes to speed of deployment and breaking down, I did 3 runs with each of the new tripods and got an average setup time of about 10 to 15 seconds for the 3 tripods and ended up with a breakdown time of 10 to 13 seconds. These tripods do use a latch system, which means every time you lock it, you get the same amount of tension locking, which can be a pro. Personally, I've actually started to prefer twist lock knobs on tripods because they're a lot faster for me to set up and break down, and I like that I can adjust the tension of each lock myself. Overall, the setup and breakdown time of these tripods should be fast enough for most fast-paced environments you could find yourself shooting in. Ergonomics-wise, the beveled shape of the legs make them pretty easy to pick up and carry around, though the flanged center column means that it's not a comfortable spot to pick up your tripod from if you want to quickly move the camera to a new spot, so just something to keep in mind. Otherwise, if you're a fan of the original PeakDesign travel tripod, everything about these new tripods feels very familiar, and that ball head is just an outright upgrade. Now, when it comes to durability, I'd love to have more time with these tripods to really use and abuse them, but I only have them for about 2 to 3 weeks, so I've been trying to use them as much as possible in different environments, and so far I haven't noticed any glaring issues. Like any other tripod, it's probably not the best idea to constantly use it in salt water and sand, but for the most part, since it shares a similar design as the original travel tripod, a little bit of upkeep and maintenance like rinsing and cleaning your tripods after trips should keep it in good working condition. I think overall, PeakDesign makes some good tripods. That's just what I genuinely think. I think the controversy really started at the price point, which is 100% fair. And there are some things I don't like about these tripods. First of all, everything has an upcharge. If you shoot out in nature, you probably want something like spiked feet, and they exist, but they cost an extra $30, which kind of sucks because it's already an expensive tripod. For video use, it's great for stationary shots, but the tilt mod and pan head falls a bit short because they don't have any friction adjustment, which is kind of important because the friction you need depends on how fast you want to move your camera, and it's dependent on the weight of your camera as well. And again, I love the idea of the tilt mod, but of course it feels a little under designed while still costing apparently $150 according to this listing I found. So here are my first impressions. If you're already a massive fan of the PeakDesign travel tripod and you've been wanting a sturdier tripod with the same design language, or you really like that updated ball head, I think you'll like this tripod. Generally speaking, it makes improvements on the original design in many fronts. And if you're looking to replace your original travel tripod with one of the Pro tripods, I personally really liked the Pro Lite because it still fits onto the side of my backpack reasonably well. It's slightly sturdier and taller than the original travel tripod while packing all of the new features of the Pro series. Now, of course, that's gonna come with quite a price tag as well, with the Pro Lite coming in at $800, the Pro coming in at $900, and the Pro Tall coming in at a whopping $1,000. If you're someone that wasn't a fan of the original PeakDesign travel tripod, then I think the best thing I could say is maybe go see if you can borrow somebody's new Pro tripod or go test it out at a camera retailer or something of the like to see what you think of this new version, but my guess is gonna be it's not gonna change your mind. My ultimate issue is that I genuinely like these tripods. It's just that the price tag is just a bit up there for me. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are the new features of the Pro Series tripods enough for you to want to buy this new tripod, or are you gonna pass on it? All right, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're interested in seeing that ultimate tripod comparison video coming in about 2 weeks time, make sure you get subscribed. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.